everyone. Hope you're having a great week. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much to all of my new subscribers and fans and everyone who's left me comments and messages. I'm a little backed up in messages right now, so I probably have like 70 or more that I'm trying to get through right now. So I've had a busy last couple of weeks, so hopefully I'll be able to get through those this week at some point. So if you haven't heard back from me yet, then that's probably why. Anyhow, this isn't going to be an update video. This is going to be a tutorial for those of you who have messaged me, and I've gotten a lot of messages from people lately asking if I think it's too late for them to start playing the violin, or they've already made the decision that they want to start playing, but they just don't have a good starting point. And most of you have also said that you can't afford teachers, and so that really hits home to me because I was very blessed in that my parents paid for my private lessons when I was younger. I actually haven't taken lessons in a couple of years now, but it's extremely valuable when you're first starting out. So I would just say if you can afford to, then definitely take some. If you can only afford to take them like even once, if you can just go once, just call up a teacher and ask them, hey, I'm a complete beginner, could you just give me one lesson to get me started? That would be really, really great, because it's really important that you get started with all of the proper technique, holding the instrument, holding the bow, just all those basics. If you can have someone right there to show you exactly how to do that, that's super helpful. But if you can't, then I totally understand, and hopefully I will be able to help you out with that. So this first video, though, is just going to be for complete beginners. So I'm going to talk about buying an instrument and what equipment you'll need, some beginner books, that kind of a thing. So if you're already playing and you've sent me messages asking for tips, I'm going to do different kinds of tips in another video. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I'm just addressing the complete beginners, or those of you who want to start. So, alright, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be fun playing the violin. Actually, it's kind of awful to start. It's really, man, I sounded bad for a couple of years. I started when I was a lot younger, and I wasn't very focused. If you're making the decision now as you're older, first of all, I don't think it's ever too late to start something new. But if you're making that conscious decision when you're older, like this is something I really want to learn, if you're going to put in the time and practice and focus, then there's no reason that you won't be able to advance very quickly. It is, like I said, it's a very difficult instrument, especially in the beginning, but it just all depends on how much time you're willing to put into it as to how fast you'll progress. So don't worry, it'll come, and it'll come with practice. So first of all, we're going to talk about buying a violin. So a lot of you have asked what I use, or have sent me a link even saying, do you think this would be good, this type of violin? It's really, really difficult for me to say, especially because when you're choosing an instrument, you need to be able to hear it, and you need to be able to play it, see how it feels with you. But if you're a complete beginner, then you don't really know what you're looking for, right? So I would say, this is just a very general statement, but something around the price range of $300 to $500 for the violin should get you a very nice starting instrument. If you go a lot cheaper than that, you're going to run the risk of having an instrument that's just really poorly made, and it's not going to stay in tune. The pegs are going to slip a lot. Things could crack. The wood is very susceptible to the weather, and if you're in a place that has a changing climate, then you might want to consider that too. So that's the problem if you go too cheap, so just watch out there. But I think something in that range should get you started nicely. And then you need a bow, of course, and the bow is really like a separate instrument, and it's priced that way too. So unfortunately, it's not necessarily a package deal, although you can buy them as package deals. But set aside another $100 for a bow. Again, if you go super cheap, the equipment's just gonna fail you sometimes. So, if someone gave you the world's most expensive violin as a beginner, you're not gonna make it sound like the world's most expensive violin. So I guess my point is, it really doesn't matter sound-wise if it's the greatest sounding or the most expensive, but you just want to make sure that you get something quality, because otherwise it's just going to be miserable if it's, falling apart or something like that. So As far as places to buy, the best thing would be if you had a string shop nearby and could go visit one in person and talk to somebody. You know, all the people that I've ever dealt with have not tried to, like, you know, cheat me out of money or anything. They've been very nice and very knowledgeable and helpful. If you just, like, set a price range when you go in there, if they respect your price range, then you're fine. If they're trying to upsell you, then obviously that's probably not the best place for you to go. There is also a website for those of you who might not have access to a store in your neighborhood. It's sharmusic.com. It's one of the largest, I think it's one of the largest string online websites. They have everything. They have sheet music, instruments of all different price ranges. They have, I think, even like beginner instrument packages where you get a violin, a case, and a bow. Just tons of stuff on that website. So I've actually bought strings and such from there online. So I've always had a good experience, but you know, I don't want to push you in that direction because if you have a bad one, I don't want you blamed. So, but that is a resource. I'll put that in the description, a link to that. But yeah, so as far as cost, you know, somewhere in that range, I think would probably get you something nice, but not, you know, going crazy with your budget right out the gate. So, in addition to the violin and the bow, you will need a case. And again, this doesn't have to be something that's very expensive. Just find something that'll be good for you. You definitely want rosin as well. That's what you use to put on the bow to get it to stick with the strings. And then you also probably want a shoulder rest. And I'll talk about all of these things in more detail in other videos, but a shoulder rest just kind of like provides a cushion between you and the instrument. I didn't use one for about 13 years. I was just stubborn and didn't want to use one. And then I started having really bad collarbone pain there, so I started using one within like the last year and a half, and it makes things a lot easier in addition to more comfortable. So definitely good to start out with one of those. And again, that's something that if you can try it in person, that's the best, because they're all different and everyone's body's different. So what works for me isn't going to work for you necessarily. And frankly, I still haven't found anything that's been super comfortable on me. So I just make do with what I have, but I'm kind of still searching for a great one. I have a little list here. So, books. So a good series to start off with is String Builder, if you're a complete beginner. Again, this is for complete beginners. That's what I started with. It just goes over all the different notes, all the different finger placements. It's a very good book for just starting out. It's very comprehensive. And the Suzuki book series as well. So for a beginner, you know, you just want to start with Suzuki Book 1. And definitely start with String Builder before that, just to familiarize yourself with everything. So those two I would recommend to start with. And also, if you can record yourself, I've found that since I've started my YouTube page and have been recording myself, I've learned a lot about how I play and the mistakes I make and what I need to fix. If you can record yourself and then, you know, read up about proper technique, watch other videos of people playing, and you can kind of compare yourself. Because if you don't have the advantage of a teacher being there to kind of stare at you and tell you what you're doing right or wrong, you can kind of try and do that for yourself by recording yourself. So give that a try too when you're just starting out, even if it's just for correct posture and everything. And like I said, I'll do another video where I'm actually like demonstrating things with the violin, but that will be in a different video. So, all right, I hope that was helpful. You know, there will be more to come, and if you guys have questions about this topic, about just starting out, please leave them in this video comments section. I don't know what to call it. Instead of personally messaging me, because that way, if you have questions about it, which I'm sure you will, there's probably other people who have the same questions as well, and then that way other people can see and get the answers, and I won't get so backed up with the messages and everything too. So that would be really helpful if you guys could just put your comments in there. So, all right, well, I will see you guys later, and I hope this was helpful, and good luck and have fun. All right, God bless. Bye.